New spectacular footage shows a Ukrainian makeshift Kamikaze drone setting its sights on a massive Tu-S-19 Msta-S self-propelled howitzer, which weighs 42 tons. This Soviet-era armored artillery boasts 15 millimeters of armor, explicitly designed to fend off direct hits from small firearms and shell fragments. Yet, despite the howitzer's colossal weight, many tens of thousands of times that of the drone, the nimble airborne assailant advances. It locates its target in an open field. Inside the armored vehicle, the sound of machinery and the blast as it fires make it impossible for the crew to detect the faint hum of the incoming drone. A blinding flash and a towering column of fire emerge in a split second. The footage is bone-chilling. Militaries worldwide are becoming deeply alarmed as they realize makeshift weapons costing just a few $100s can annihilate assets worth millions or wipe out entire platoons of soldiers from vast distances away. Ukraine's Kamikaze first-person view or FPV drones are the new cost-effective menace making waves both on the battleground and on Russian social media. While unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs, have become commonplace since the onset of Russia's invasion, their rapid evolution remains an unsettling spectacle for nations observing anxiously from the fringes. Recent footage circulation alleges the FPV drone's escalating impact and shows stacks prepped for coordinated assaults. Weighing generally no more than 500 grams, FPV drones were initially designed for hobbyist racing. Today, mirroring the trend of many other drones in Ukraine, they're being retrofitted with weapons. These nimble racers can carry rocket-propelled grenades or RPGs weighing up to 1 kilogram and can swiftly lock onto targets for lethal one-shot kamikaze strikes. Given their price tag of under $1,000, Ukrainians aren't fretting over retrieving them. These racing drones possess powerful motors, equipping them to carry RPGs. Ben Caves, Deputy Director of Defense and Security at RAND Europe, remarked, quote, "What you're seeing with these FPV drones is kind of an evolution in terms of ability, speed, capability, and price, which is a really important factor. These are more sort of a specialist Ferrari-type drone, designed to be fast and maneuverable." Their operational radius caps at about 10 kilometers, but their standout feature lies in the control mechanism. Pilots don VR-like goggles that stream live footage from the drones, offering an immersive first-person perspective. This unique viewpoint allows for precision strikes, enabling ambushes in confined spaces or lying in wait for the perfect target. Several videos depicting these dramatic drone assaults have emerged. Ukraine's usage underlines a paradigm shift in warfare tactics. Russia, meanwhile, employs Iranian-made Shahed 136 drones for its kamikaze-style attacks. Loaded with explosives and preset with target GPS coordinates, these drones predominantly target key Ukrainian infrastructure instead of mobile units or armored vehicles. Though they dwarf Ukraine's FPV drones in size and power, they are considerably pricier and less accessible. Countries like Australia, the USA, and Canada have levied sanctions on those supplying these Iranian drones to Russia. This past January, Ukraine initiated a fundraising campaign for 1,000 FPV drone fleet, heralding them as a revolutionary combat tool. Msta-S Howitzer, part of the Ukrainian military's aerial reconnaissance and drone piloting teams, believes mass production could be a game-changer. In a live video conference, she asserted, quote, "Just FPVs with a payload can stop the enemy's offensive." Many countries worldwide, including powerhouses like the USA, are becoming increasingly uneasy. The accessibility and affordability of these improvised weapons make them available to nearly any militant group or even lone individuals, and the potential destruction they can unleash is substantial. Yet, their apprehension intensifies when pondering the future. While a faction might possess thousands of FPVs, they're unlikely to have an equivalent number of pilots to command them concurrently. However, with the sweeping influence of AI across various sectors, experts such as Ben Caves are anxious. They anticipate a revolutionary shift when these cost-effective, semi-autonomous drones advance further, distancing human involvement in combat decisions. This shift raises profound ethical concerns. Removing humans from the process becomes particularly contentious in scenarios involving drone swarms, which already pose defensive challenges in their current state. Caves delved into the matter, stating, quote, "Imagine you get to a situation where you've got AI swarms of drones making their own decisions about what they choose to target and not target, and there's no human making that decision." But speculation is not needed to assess the significance of these drones. They are redefining the rules of combat and taking down some of the most important armored vehicles on the battlefield right now. The Tu-S-19 Msta-S, commonly known as Msta, represents a cornerstone in Soviet engineering prowess. The massive howitzer, which resembles an oversized tank, takes its name from the Msta River in Russia. As the curtain began to draw on the Cold War, the Soviet Union, eager to replace older models like the Tu-S-3 Akatsiya, envisioned a mobile howitzer packing an unmatched punch. Equipped with a 152mm Tu-A65 howitzer as its primary armament, it can fire both standard and rocket-assisted shells over impressive distances, often exceeding 25 kilometers. A standout feature of this war machine is its rapid responsiveness. Courtesy of its semi-automatic loading mechanism, the Msta-S can deliver a salvo of 5 to 6 rounds a minute, unleashing devastation upon foes. But it's not solely an offensive armored vehicle. Built upon the armored framework of the T-80 tank, its interior offers significant protection to its crew. They are shielded from small arms, shell fragments, and the looming dangers of chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear threats. However, its hulking size, which tips the scales at over 42 tons, doesn't compromise its agility. Driven by an 840 horsepower diesel engine, the Msta-S can attain speeds up to 60 kilometers per hour and traverse a distance of 500 kilometers without a hitch. While it proved its mettle during the Second Chechen War, the Msta is now realizing that the dynamics of 21st century warfare have transformed radically. Even with its advanced tech and robust armor, this $4 million Russian juggernaut isn't impervious to the threat of a diminutive hobbyist drone armed with an RPG. The astonishing takedown unfolds in a video uploaded to X, courtesy of the Ukrainian military. The scene begins with a vast open field, the camera steadily zooming in until the howitzer becomes discernible. Engrossed in firing, the Russian artillery unit is oblivious to being in the crosshairs. The footage soon transitions to a first-person perspective, capturing the drone's rapid advance towards its Russian quarry. Maintaining its trajectory, the drone gets perilously close, mere meters from the artillery. Then the perspective shifts back to a panoramic view, with the Msta-S central to the frame. What follows is a sudden blinding flash, succeeded by an eruption of flames. The nimble, cost-effective FPV drones, leveraged by the Ukrainians, present a challenge for the Russian military. Their outdated Soviet-era arsenal struggles to counter the drone's agility, swiftness, and expendability. The aftermath reveals the Msta-S reduced to rubble, depriving the Russian campaign of a valuable war asset. As these innovative yet makeshift technologies proliferate across Ukrainian battlegrounds, it remains to be seen if they will be the undoing of the Russian armored divisions, or if Russia will conjure a countermeasure to safeguard its mechanized forces. Anti-drone technology is swiftly advancing in tandem with the swift evolution of UAVs. Most drone systems are vulnerable to jamming, leading both warring parties to incessantly innovate and adapt different jamming techniques. The US and Israel have been exceptionally proactive. Alongside honing their anti-jamming capabilities, they've been formulating and supplying Ukraine with advanced anti-drone solutions. Recently, Russian media highlighted the successful testing and imminent deployment of their new SERP VS-5 anti-drone system, which can jam and detect encroaching drones in a full 360-degree sweep, covering a distance of up to 5 kilometers. The defense against Kamikaze drone assaults essentially boils down to a numbers game. Ukraine's experience with Russia's Kamikaze drones underscores this reality. Neutralize 85% of the incoming threats, and still a mere fraction slipping through can wreak havoc. But the race is on, and time can only tell if these emerging anti-drone technologies can be implemented to end FPV drones' rampage, especially against Russian armored units.